Scientists. It's Osama here with Atlantic Aquariums. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, but good to be back on. I'm just going to wait a little bit for people to trickle in so they don't miss anything, and we'll get started soon. All right, so we'll get started, and then as people trickle in, that's perfectly fine. And then obviously for anybody that misses the live stream can always watch the replay. But in today's live stream, I basically wanted to kind of talk about some, updates with Atlantic Aquariums, some, new arrivals, if you will, as well as any upcoming events that we might be going to, and basically what to expect for the upcoming year as we start to wrap up, the 2025 year. So just as an overview, we just had the Keystone Clash. For those of you who came to the event and came to our booth and said hi, I greatly appreciate it. It was nice to meet a lot of familiar faces as well as new faces, supporters of the business. So it was really nice. I always enjoy going to the Keystone Clash. So definitely will be going to the clash tomorrow. Not tomorrow, excuse me. Next year. They already posted the dates for the Keystone Clash 2026. So I strongly recommend going to their website, checking out the information, and marking your calendar so that way if you weren't able to go this year, hopefully we look forward to seeing you next year as well. But Keystone Clash always does great for us, so it was really nice going there. Obviously, I didn't have quite as much stuff as I usually do, um, and that's just because of uh, lack of inventory. As prior to the Keystone Clash, sales just haven't been that well, or haven't been getting that many orders and things like that. So wasn't able to get as much plants in or inventory in preparation for the clash, but hopefully my goal is next year to to have a bit more variety, if you will. So that's with the Keystone Clash, and really that's the only event that we've been going to consistently, if you will. But I do plan on next year going to a few more events as well, local events. I do want to correct myself. This year, we did participate in the Jersey Shore Aquarium Society's swap meet. That went okay, but there just wasn't that many attendees at the event as we were hoping. So not that many people were there, but it was still a good event to go to. Um, the only downside to that event was while packing up, because I'm the only one there, as I'm going back and forth putting away stuff. Unfortunately, somebody did snag at least one or two tissue culture plants from my table, so that was a bit of a downside, and didn't really get any assistance in figuring out who it was. Um, I mean, if you can't afford stuff, talk to me. We can talk, but don't steal stuff. Okay. A lot of the stuff that I get in for Atlantic Aquariums is coming out of my own pocket. So it was definitely, I was very upset, but it is what it is. But that and the Keystone Clash was the only event that we went to. But um, my hopes are to expand more. Um, Obviously, we will be going to the Keystone Clash this coming year, 2026. But there's a few other events that we're hoping to go to. It has not been confirmed yet. We're still trying to get some information um, from the organizers. Just haven't really gotten a reply yet, which can be annoying sometimes. I'm gonna have to be honest, but there's at least one or two events happening here in New Jersey that I definitely would like to go to. One being the New Jersey Reptile Expo, which they did have an event this October, or September, October, I want to say, early September, October. And unfortunately, we were a bit late in signing up for that event. So, um, um, but thankfully, they are doing another event in February, I believe February 8th, I want to say. And so I'm hoping to vend at that, participate in that event as well. But it hasn't been confirmed yet. We're still trying to wait and get some information. It is a reptile expo, but we're definitely going to be having aquatic stuff there. But I also wanted to take advantage of showcasing our semi-aquatic section, Atlantic Jungles as well, which exclusively specializes in amphibians, frogs, salamanders, axolotls, turtles, tortoises, things like that. Although in the state of New Jersey, it is illegal to keep axolotls and turtles and things like that. I hope to have supplies and foods and supplements and things like that at least. Um, so pretty excited about that. Stay tuned for more information in regards to that. But like I said, nothing's really been confirmed, but I hope to at least have more events planned than just the Keystone Clash. Hello there, Fish Family. Thank you very much for stopping by. So that's pretty much it for events, and a great way to actually keep on top of the events that Atlantic Aquariums will be a part of is if you were to go to our website, which I have pulled up here already. Obviously, go to more, and right down here is events, and it brings you right to our event page. So obviously needs to be updated a little bit, but these were the two events that I was talking about. So hopefully I'll have this updated. Obviously this will be changed to showcase information regarding the 2026 Keystone Clash, but definitely a place to, while you're browsing the website to take a gander at, see if we're going to an event near you. You never know. But yeah, that's the events, and then just some updates with the website itself. So I've been kind of messing around with it, adding things, removing things. You'll notice in the store section, there's a lot more pages now compared to what it would normally be. So like you would see fish and inverts, plants and macroalgae, hardscape and aquascaping supplies, aquarium equipment and supplies, things like that. But I've now broken those categories even more to specific categories, if that makes sense, just to make it a bit more clean. So obviously you got fish and invertebrates, plants and macroalgae, hardscape, aquascaping supplies, but then you've got food and supplements, additives and conditioners, Atlantic RX, which is our aquatic pharmacy, if you will, which is the latest thing that I've been working on, but it's definitely I'm gonna be adding more stuff on here. But your one-stop shop for basically anything you need for quarantine and hospital. Um, you've got your Prazi cleanse, Maricin, ICX, which is a staple, methylene blue, which is really great for people that are breeding fish, and you definitely want to put your eggs or fry in methylene blue to kind of help protect them from fungal infections and things like that. So that's this section here. Obviously, been adding a lot of things to these sections here: filtration, pump, lighting. So a lot more stuff to fit everybody's budget. But recently started carrying the Delua Illumagic Pixel lights. There is actually one light from Delua, which is a reef light, but it's really cool where you can set it to mimic the environments of a particular location, a reef or something like that. And so I really would like to get that light in and kind of test it and mess around with it. I might even put it on the on my reef tank that I plan on setting up. Originally, I wanted to install an AI light to it, which I still might, but I definitely want to, get that light in and kind of test it out, because I really think that feature is really cool. But yeah, so, and then obviously food and supplements. Got quite a lot of foods. You might notice with the Sarah stuff, I'm currently changing the pictures on there because Sarah recently did a big rebranding, as well as a update on their ingredients and things like that, which is really cool. So pretty looking forward to that. As you can obviously tell, the food section hasn't really been great for us, and so a lot of the things you see are out of stock, but I do plan on getting things back in stock slowly. It'll be a slow process, but I definitely want to start carrying foods again, because I like to feed my fish a varied diet, and I always advocate for feeding a varied diet, and I want to be able to accommodate others that have the same viewpoint and be a one-stop shop for you able to find the foods that you're looking for, pretty much. But in terms of specific products that I'm pretty excited that are new, in terms of the food section here, Atlantic Aquariums will be getting in the fresh. It's by Azoo, which is the fresh shrimp delight. Hang on, I gotta look it up because I can't even remember. That's actually very sad. Um, Ultra fresh, excuse me. The ultra fresh shrimp delight foods. So that's something new that's going to be coming to the store. They've got quite a bit of a array of foods specializing in tropical, marine, bottom dwellers, catfish, plecos, invertebrates. They even have foods for your turtles, aquatic frogs, things like that. I think they even have foods for hermit crabs, land hermit crabs too. Don't quote me on that, but quite an array of foods, and I've seen some really cool reviews on them, so thought I'd try them out and bring them in. But that's something that's coming in. And then another product that we're pretty excited about is in the Atlantic Jungles section. So, equipment and supplies. Excuse me. And it's these two items here. So for anybody that keeps Dendrobates uh, species frogs or the poison dart frogs, this is actually a really cool, really nice supplement that you can give your frogs. And there's quite a lot of information here. It's definitely great for if you are breeding dart frogs. And although it says dendrocare, which is, you know, you would think it's designed for dendrobates, but you can feed it to all your amphibians, your frogs, toads. Doesn't necessarily have to be dendrobates, but it's basically to help combat diseases due to malnutrition, supplementation, things like that. And you would basically sprinkle it on top of your insects, your feeder insects. So if you're feeding flightless fruit flies before feeding to your frogs, you would just sprinkle them with the dendrocare, and you would feed them that way. And there have been some good feedback from it. Not a lot of insight into. Not a lot of people have really had it in the U.S. This is a Europe brand. It's made in the Netherlands, so I wanted to try and bring it in, and see how it does. But pretty excited about that. And then the same company also makes no mite, and this is something that I never really knew about and recently learned. So this is basically to combat mites that might infect your fruit fly cultures. And so basically, what you would do with this is when you're creating new cultures, you would, before adding the fruit flies to the media and container, you would actually sprinkle them with, or not sprinkle, but put them in a container with no mite, and then just clear them out, and then you would add them to your new culture, and it basically kills off the mites that might be in your culture. and then and it's 100% organic, and it doesn't harm your amphibians or the fruit flies themselves. However, they do recommend that when you do sprinkle them with no mite, don't immediately feed them to your amphibians, just to be on the safe side. But and then they also give a really cool tip, where is that the area where you store your fruit flies, they even recommend, like if you put it on a countertop or something like that, to actually sprinkle the area with no mite as well, to prevent mites from getting into your cultures. So it's pretty nifty product. So definitely we'll be getting that in as well. And then obviously combine that with the Rapashi Superfly, which is a fruit fly culture medium. Definitely two things you should have if you breed, obviously, fruit flies for your frogs and even fish. Some people will even culture fruit flies to feed their fish, and nothing wrong with that. Excuse me. But yeah, that's another product that's coming that we will be getting in soon. That really looking forward to. And then hardscape, aquascaping supplies mainly will just have your hardscape and aquascaping as well as tools. Um, Definitely plan on adding more products to it, especially from Wio. I really like a lot of their substrates and their kits and things like that here. So um, looking forward to adding more to that. And then one thing that I do want to mention, so the Dennerle Rio Zingu gravel was pretty popular gravel, and you know really want to get that in. Unfortunately, the distributor that I get it from, they do say that they're supposed to get it in. They just don't know when it's coming in. So I don't know what's going on with that, but that's also one of the reasons why the Dennerle Shrimp King Foods, I haven't really restocked yet, because that is also, I get that from the same distributor, and they just haven't been getting it. So the moment that I get the word that they got the Rio Zingu gravel in, I'm literally ordering, more than 10 of those, because they're quite popular. But other than that, really nothing new with the hardscape and aquascape supplies. But in general, in terms of equipment, I also plan on getting in some of the Higer lights and equipment as well. So looking forward to that. And then obviously with plants and macroalgae, as you can tell, not really a lot of stuff in stock right now. Still have the Rotala wallachii and the Taiwan moss and Marsilia hirsuta, but I do plan on ordering more plants in soon. Um, Hopefully before it gets too cold, but we'll see how it goes. Just to get more plants in. Um, but yeah, that's a lot more of mostly of a lot of the updates with the website. Um, the pond section has also been updated with, we're trying to promote a lot more of the supplies and equipment to kind of winterize your pond as well. So you would just, obviously cold water, beneficial bacteria is essential to help keep your water nice and healthy, but then also you've got, excuse me, um, you also got pond netting, which is something you definitely want to have, especially if you get a lot of leaves during the fall. There's a lot of leaf fall, so you can obviously cover your pond with the netting to prevent a lot of those leaves from getting into your pond and things like that. And then obviously the pond deicer, which really helps. At least helps if your pond over freezes, it'll keep a portion of the water clear of ice, so that way there's oxygen exchange going through. for your fish that are, in a sense, hibernating in your pond. But so definitely take a look at that, especially for those of you who do have ponds. Obviously, all of the products for the pond section is Aquascape. It's the only brand that I will be carrying because I really like their stuff. But hopefully, before the beginning of pond season next year, my goal is to really fill this up to, excuse me, um, fill this up with a lot of the products as well, just so everybody's ready for next year's pond season. And then one more thing I wanted to talk about was there have been some updates with the Aquarius Rewards program. So um, before you would just sign up, earn points, and redeem points or redeem rewards based off of how many points you have. But now there's tiers to it. So depending on how many points you have, determines what tier you go into, and depending on what tier you're in, you get rewards according to that. So everybody that signs up becomes a store member. You're in the basic tier, but then once you reach 200 points, you'll be in silver, which allows you to get 2 points per $1. So instead of the 1 point per dollar, you get 2 points. And then once you get to 100 points, you get $10 discount. But then if you're in the silver section, if you get 100 points, you get you get $2 discount. And then if you get 400 points, you're in gold, which increases even more. Instead of 2 points per dollar, you get 4 points per dollar. And then once you reach 100 points, you get $40 discount. And then obviously you can save up your points and get as many points as you want. Um, all the rewards are subject to change, so things can always change, but just a bit of a way for me to give back to those that have really supported the business. Um, and so I hope you guys are also excited about these changes too. So if you're somebody that has quite a lot of points stacked up, use them up because why not? But yeah, so pretty excited about that. So that's pretty much all I really have in terms of an update. Um, I guarantee that may have been things that I've missed. But, if you have any questions or anything, you can always put them in the chat, or if you're watching the replay, feel free to type it in the comments and I will definitely do my best to get back to you on that. Oh, one more thing that I did want to mention, and I kind of have it up here, but then obviously if you go to the shipping and return section, you'll see it in more detail. But basically, if you purchase anything in checkout, you'll notice that uh, you're being charged $0 for shipping. Um, Basically, when you place an order, once I pack your order and everything, or if it's being drop shipped or whatever, once I know what the shipping cost is, I will then be updating your order with that custom shipping rate, and then you would basically just have to pay that shipping rate, and then your order will then be shipped out. Basically, I had to get rid of the flat rate shipping because it just wasn't working out. Sometimes we would have orders which it costs more to ship than what I would basically be making. Like in terms of, think of it this way: I have an order come in, and by the time I ship it in, depending on how big the order is, literally the profit that I would get from that order is going right back to just me trying to ship it to you, if that makes sense. Like I'm not saving anything from that. And rather than me keeping that flat rate shipping and increasing product prices to make up for it, I just decided to get rid of it and do that custom rate shipping. The website builder that I use to manage all this um, is very weird with calculating shipping rates. So I just decided to do it manually. So basically, you would place your order, and then you would get a updated invoice from me with your custom shipping rate, depending on what your order is. And sometimes it could be the same rate that it was before, so $9.99 for flat rate 1 to 3 day shipping, or it could be $20 or $30 or whatever. And the same thing goes for the overnight shipping. So that would be custom as well. Excuse me. And so that's just one thing I definitely wanted to mention in case people got confused. But basically, and then another thing is like if you want to know what your shipping might be, before you place the order, you can definitely reach out via email, and I'll do my best to kind of figure out what the shipping rate might be. But I can't really calculate it until after you place the order and I know what you're ordering. Um, but definitely email me if you want to know what the shipping, what the cost of shipping would be for your order before you place it, and I can definitely help you out with that. Um, But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have. Doesn't seem like there's anybody in chat right now, which is totally fine. Um, might just end up ending the stream earlier than expected. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to thank everybody that has been supporting the business till now, and hopefully continue to support the business. I'm working hard to make it a one-stop shop for all your aquarium needs. Yeah, so please do give me feedback on if there's a particular product that I don't carry that you would like me to carry, or what you think of a lot of the products that we're carrying, especially if you've bought stuff from me before. Please write reviews of the products that you've gotten, because that gives me a great idea of seeing what works and what doesn't work. Um, and obviously, if you write a review, you get rewards points for that too. So there's a little bit of an incentive there for you. But um, but yeah, with that being said, thank you again. If you like the stream, um, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future streams. Hit the like button, share it, and then thank you for anybody that's watching the replay. Sorry that you missed it, but yeah, hit that notification bell so you don't miss a future live stream. And with that being said, keep taking care of your aquariums, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.